Many people, and again, I don't know who you are watching me right now, but an awful lot of people I find don't give good eye contact. Now, you that are somewhat new, I'm going to make a suggestion. If you are sitting there saying, I'm new, I lack confidence, I'm a little nervous right now, hey, nothing wrong with that. That's how we all started. I don't know anyone who's achieved a high level of success that wasn't afraid, timid, shy, worried about what they were going to do. That's how we all began. But I would say this to you. In this one area, what I'd like you to do is just trust Tom, that if you'll follow these fundamentals when you go in, repeating their name to yourself, smiling, that's very important, but instead of looking dead in their eyes, because see, when you're new, you get hung up in a person's eyes, and you know what can happen to you when you're new? You forget what you were going to say. So I'm going to suggest you start looking right here when you're speaking with that person until you really get your presentations down. They'll not know you're not giving them eye contact. Believe me, if you're more than 2 feet away and you're focused right here, they'll have no idea that you're not looking at them, but you won't get caught up in their eyes. Now, there's an overall feeling I want you to generate. And that feeling is, I'm here for you. Now, that's the feeling you want to generate. We at Card Service International only exist to help you build a business. Without you, we have no reason to be in business. And this is the attitude you have to come across with, okay? So, again, you've repeated their name, so you remember that. We use the name the way they give it. Very, very important. Now, whenever you're speaking with them, be sure that if you're going into a new part of the presentation, drop their name in. And don't focus on just one of them. Like, say they're a husband-wife, mom and pop's operation getting started, and all of a sudden you hit it off with the husband really well. I mean, boy, you guys are wow. And you almost ignore the wife. She could be the decision maker. And so the key is to balance your presentation and keep them both involved. Now, let me give you some advice at this point about this thing called the handshake. You see, a lot of us believe that if we can walk right in and shake their hand, that, boy, this is going to build rapport. Do you know that threatens some people? Because that is, again, so typical of an outgoing salesperson. To walk in, hi, how you doing? Now, here's my advice to you. If it is a pre-planned appointment, meaning they know you're coming from Card Service International, absolute perfect to shake hands. Yes, hi, Mr. Johnson. I'm Tom Hopkins with Card Service International. How do you do, sir? Perfect. If you are warm canvassing, meeting strangers in our walkabout, prospecting, business owners that don't know you, do not walk in and shake the hand. After you establish rapport and have a good feeling and you're leaving, then you can say goodbye with the old, by the way, it was so nice visiting with you again. I'm Tom Hopkins, so nice to meet you. And you shake hands then. Now, let's talk about this thing called the handshake. First of all, one of the other reasons you don't want to reach out is some of them don't like to shake hands with strangers. I mean, there's all these little feelings. Now, if you walk into someone, like say I walked in and Andrew was across the counter from me, and I put my hand out, and let's say he doesn't want to reach out. Well, then I sense it, and I put my hand down, but then his hand comes up, and then mine's down, and then he puts his down, and mine comes up, and now we got this whole thing, and it's very uncomfortable. I'm going to suggest when you meet people, keep your hand right here as just a natural way of meeting everybody. So that if they are the outgoing type that wants to shake hands, it's amazing how they will just reach out and shake your hand. Now, you want to work on your handshake. Women in the room and watching, there is no difference today between a man and a woman in sales handshake. It should be deep and it should be firm. Firm is very important. Now, don't hurt them, but it should be firm. See, if you grab with a little one of these patsy-watsies, I mean, this starts off the whole thing possibly wrong. So, and I really mean that. See, a lot of men will never tell another man that, you know, your handshake, man, has no confidence. It's dead. And they've never been told that. So please, work on a deep, firm handshake. And then I want you to develop a sentence We call this an introductory sentence that's used to put them at ease. Now, I've written this for you, and I would so love you to take it out of the book, rehearse it. If you need to, put it on a little cassette player and rehearse it till it becomes you. You see, this next phraseology is designed to get down to business. See, so far we really haven't. We've complimented them, we've established rapport, we've chit-chatted. Now we have to say something that says, now let's talk business. I'd love you to learn this. Smile at them and say, let's say it's now John. Okay? John, let me begin by thanking you for the time we're going to share today. I hope we can consider this meeting somewhat exploratory. See, I love the word somewhat exploratory. Do you know why? It relaxes them. It's almost a kind of a way of saying, I'm not here to sell you. We're going to explore together. See, this relaxes them. So let's continue. I'd like to consider this meeting somewhat exploratory, meaning I'd like to analyze your needs and show you how we at Card Service International can provide you with the very best service in the transaction processing area of your business at the very lowest investment possible. Boy, if you say that properly to them, you will rivet them. They will right away go, that's what I want. The best for least. Of course, that's how we get their minds open. Then I'd like you to use a formula as you go into what we call qualification. Now, qualification means you don't start telling them what terminal they should take, telling them how to finance, telling them whether to lease or not. See, too many of you have a certain way you do the business, and you're just going to go in there, show your flip chart, get them excited, take out the brochure on the system, and boom. I'd rather have you ask some questions. And we're going to use a formula that's called the needs formula. Now, repeat the word needs. We want to find out what are their needs. Doesn't matter what we like. We want to know what are their needs. Now, the reason we're using the word needs is because it'll trigger quit talking about what you like and find out what they're going to say yes to. See, most salespeople don't do that. Salespeople, the average, go in and say, we know just what you need. We are the best. If you don't do business with us, you are stupid. Now, there are people that come across like that. Don't do that. I always am offended if a person assumes they know what I need. I am the consumer. I will decide what I need. Now, you'll notice in your workbooks, and you'll notice on the video, this needs, it's spelled N-E-A-D-S. The reason for that is each letter determines the type of questions you're going to ask. Now, the first letter is the letter N. I want you to think of the word now, meaning, what do they have now? Now, there's a basic truth I want you never to forget. The past decisions a company or a business makes greatly determines the type of decisions they'll make in the future. It's like, tell me a lot about what you've done in the past as to your investments, how much you'll spend, and it tells me a lot about you. For example, make a note. I want to know the type of account or the rate or the term of lease on equipment that they've had in the past. Let's say they've just opened up a business, but they had a business in the past. I want to see their education towards our business, our industry, you see. So if I've got a lot of now answers, I'll move to the E in needs, which stands for what do they enjoy most about what they have now. So the E is enjoy. Let's say that they've had a terminal or they've had a system in the past. Oh, you used that system. What did you like about it? Now, the key is to know the hot buttons they had before, and you've got to make sure that in your presentation, you will satisfy that hot button with our system, all right? Now, the A in need stands for what would they like to alter. Now, alter means change or improve. What would they like different about what they have now? What would they like to change? Now, one of the keys in doing these questionings is that what they want to change, you have to be able to accomplish, or you'll create something better than what they've said so that you can then get them excited during your presentation. Now, the D is a very, very important letter.